We ask all of you to please stand and join the BR football program for a moment of silence in remembrance of former BR football head coach and Hall of Fame inductee, Frank Almeida. Thank you. Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem by the Bridgewater Rainham Marching Band. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for some football!
On an early November night, the BC High Eagles come to BR to visit the Trojans. Hi there, everybody. I'm John Luck. Jeff Fowler is on top of the press box grabbing video of this game. And this is an interesting game. Records aside, 3-5 BR taking on 1-7 BC High. Yes, both teams didn't qualify for the playoffs, but there's still a lot of questions regarding this BR football team. And to start off with, you got to go with the quarterback, Declan Byrne. This season has really been a growing experience for number 17. As you go back to the Duxbury game, he had a difficult time finding his receivers, trying to get the timing down. But ever since that St. John's game, when he completed that highlight reel catch to Ryan Breheny, it seems like he's starting to get that timing down. As we will talk a lot about the growth of this football team, as BC High won the toss, they have elected to receive. And number 5, Benjamin Evie, is awaiting this kick from one of the sophomores on this BR team, Mason Berry, and we're off and running here at the regional end over end. This is going to go to the 25-yard line. A decent return here by the Eagles up to the 43-yard line, and the Eagles coming into this game winning their first game of the season last week at the expense of Malden Catholic, 34-26, snapping a 9-game losing streak dating back to March.
Kick off by Mason Berry, returned by BC Eagles out to the 44-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
As Maxwell Galvin is going to be taking the snaps here for the Eagles to start things off. Much like BR, BC High having a sophomore quarterback, as this is a run up the middle. Looks like for number 26, Jacob Bierenbrut spot.
Number 26, Jacob Bierenbrut for the BC Eagles, up a few. Tackled first by number 87, Logan Johnson.
Tackle made by Logan Johnson after the 2-yard pickup. A 4-receiver set here for the Eagles to open things up in the first quarter. Setting back, looking downfield. Nice grab there by number 5, Evie, into BR territory across the 30 to the 28-yard line.
Number 5, Benjamin Evie.
So just like that, a minute into this game, BC High already in business.
BC High 1st and 10.
Approaching red zone territory as Evie works his way to the near side. Our count here by Galvin. Bierenbrut spot on the left of his starting quarterback. On first down, Pass too tall there for number 24, Andrew Toland.
Incomplete by number 19, Maxwell Galvin. Brings up second down for the Eagles.
So on second down here, number 16, Colin Benson working his way to the near side for the Eagles, who face a 2nd and 10. Evie on the sweep, getting some protection. Nice protection by the Eagles as Evie goes inside the 20 to the 15 before being taken down by Evan Thrasher, a senior captain for the BR Trojans.
Number 5, Evie on the carry, tackled by number 59, Evan Thrasher.
Have to imagine BC High coming into this game with a little extra momentum, as I mentioned, snapping a 9-game losing streak. And much like other teams in these non-playoff formats, you have to think about just throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks as you approach Thanksgiving and obviously next year. First down, bobbled snap. Baron Brood spot ripped down there by number 87, Logan Johnson.
Hand off to number 26, Bierenberg, tackled by number 87, Logan Johnson.
Logan Johnson was a big problem against the New Bedford Whalers last time we had the Trojans here on BTV, exploding through the offensive line of the Whalers a couple weeks ago, and obviously the Eagles here on first down. Now a 2nd and about 15 for BC High. And once again, Logan Johnson. They may have to avoid number 87 there at BC High. That was Bjorn Brood spot again with a carry. At this point, if you're Ed Manti, you have to think about going to Evie again, who got a big reception. See number 5 working his way to the bottom of the screen. Just over 2 minutes into this one. Galvin gets rushed and gets taken down by Nathan Carfagna. Carfagna had a clean look at the sophomore QB. And this is a unique part of the field for the BC High Eagles back at the BR Trojans 27. So at this point here, it's not really about converting the first down or getting on the scoreboard, but maybe more about a field position situation. It's a 4th and about 20 for BC High. DeAndre matched up with Evie. Only 3 on the defensive line for the Trojans, throwing up a ball that I don't think really was meant to be caught by Evie, but nonetheless, BR will take over. 7:56 to go in the first quarter from their own 27-yard line. Mike Arubo out tonight, so a lot of the offense will be on the shoulders of Declan Byrne, the sophomore quarterback. We pointed that out at length this year. But also number 6, Dawson DeBose. This is a very interesting situation here, as DeBose will become a large focal point, you'd have to imagine, for the Eagles defense.
Will start 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line.
Amin Abbasi playing the fullback position. DeAndre on the near side. Braheni on the far side. For the first offensive play of the night for the BR Trojans. Byrne got hit, throws it up, and that's going to be incomplete as he was getting pressured and shaking his his right hand. Offensive line play very important for the BR Trojans, not just because of the running game, but also to protect a quarterback who's a sophomore, and you have to wonder where his confidence is after going 0-4 to start things off, then winning the next 3. BR fell short last week against Millboro, 22-6. And we've seen Byrne in the shotgun position pretty much all season long. Quick pass over, that's going to be incomplete for Marvel. So 2 early incompletions for the BR Trojans with 7:45 to go in the first quarter. 48 degrees at kickoff here at the regional. Some would say it's cold. Some would say it's classic football weather. Precipitation free, though. That's the important part. A 4-receiver set for the Trojans here, facing a 3rd and 10. Pretty deep drop there for Byrne. That's going to be over the head of Marvel.
Passing complete to number 3, Zach Marvel, brings up 4th down.
So 3 incompletions, a 3 and out. Things working out for the BC High defense. As again, both these teams not in the MIAA playoffs. We'll talk a little bit about the playoff situation in a little while here, drawing the ire of some across the Bay State. That one was nearly blocked, end over end. Still a pretty decent kick here for the Trojans, having BC High starting out at their own 42.
Number 9, Alex Mantelos. On the punt, it'll bring up.
Mentioned to start the season, the Trojans facing a gauntlet. Duxbury, Zavarian, Barnstable, St. John's Prep. Losing pretty convincingly to those 4 teams, but the next 3 games against Durfee, New Bedford, Dartmouth, the conference opposition, BR won those games by a combined score of 79-13, setting up an SEC championship game Thanksgiving Day against Brockton. We'll have that game right here on BTV here from the regional. And we get a resetting of the chains, not exactly sure where the sticks went. Imagine pretty important for the game of football. Number 16, Colin Benson, lining up on the near side here. As again, Galvin in the shotgun. Baron Brood spot goes straight through the middle across the 45 to the 46. Some hurry up here by the Eagles.
Picks up about 3, it'll be 2nd
Brings
and
up
7.
a 2nd and about 7 here for the 2nd offensive drive for BC High. BC High, a couple of difficult seasons, as I mentioned earlier, 1-7 here in the fall season. Galvin, quick pass to Evie. That is complete. Gets some protection there by Marshall Rice. But all of that for maybe a 1-yard pickup.
Screen pass to number 5, Evie, taken down quickly by the BR Trojan defense. It's going to be 3rd down.
So now facing a 3rd down here, the BR defense looking to step up after giving up a deep play for Evie early on. Bjornbrud spot works his way to Galvin's left, gets some protection, and that is going to be complete at the 45 in BR territory. Evie again with a 3rd down conversion.
Pass to Evie. 1st down, Eagles. Eagles have 1st and 10 from the 45.
.553 to go here in the first quarter. Still a scoreless game between BR and BC High. We've seen this a few times here. Galvin with the hard count trying to throw off the defense of BR, but give credit where it's due. The discipline of the defensive line. Bjornbrud spot taken down. And there's that man again, Logan Johnson.
Stopped by number 87, Logan Johnson. Brings up 2nd down.
One would have to think Bjornbrud spot in the offense has to try and work off tackle here to get away from number 87 because he has been difficult really for opposing defenses over the past few weeks. Now a 2nd and 11. Only 3 on the defensive line for BR. That pass is going to be complete to Benson. Gets the 1st down. Taken down at the 31. Taken down by Mantalos, it looks like. Haven't seen a lot of quarterbacks this season on either side of the ball in these BR games that throw the ball in the middle of the field. It's usually been outside on the numbers on the sideline, so really different here to see these passes go right in the middle of the field. A new set of downs for BC High. And it's a keeper. Spinning out of it is Galvin to the far side. Nice run there by Maxwell Galvin after Logan Johnson almost took him down, but the QB managed to spin out of it after a couple of times.
It'll be second down, 2nd and 6 for the Eagles.
Always important for these defensive players to try and finish the tackles. Don't try and go for the highlight reel, but to get that good base and take down that play. We see it at times in a lot of high school football games, the players trying to make those highlight reel tackles for the demo films, if you will. A 2nd and 8. Galvin has Johnson chasing him, throws it on the run, and a nice grab on the sideline to number 24, Andrew Toland.
Pass to number 24, Andrew Toland. First down, Eagles.
Before the game, saw the receivers for BC High working the sideline catches. Which, as I mentioned a couple moments ago, really important for high school offenses working outside the numbers, since that's where it seems offenses are going now. There's a hard count again by Galvin trying to throw off the defense. And Bjorn Broodspot on Galvin's left. Gets the handoff straight through the middle before being pulled down. Not sure if the ball came out momentarily, but nonetheless, Bjorn Broodspot across the 10 to the 9-yard line. In our first quarter, that's really been all BC High. 3 incompletions by BR on their lone offensive drive. But the defense being tested here, going inside of 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Quick pass, complete. Has some daylight into the end zone. Goes number 24, Toland, for a 9-yard touchdown reception. BC High goes out first. But we do have a flag, actually. They've been holding as Toland worked his way into the end zone. And that is the case.
Holding against the BC High Eagles. That'll bring the ball back, and it'll be second down, 2nd and 10.
So perhaps the season in a nutshell for the Eagles. They get 6 on the scoreboard, and it gets taken off just like that. Five-yard loss makes this 2nd and 9. Evie on the far side. Quick handoff to Bjorn Broodspot. Gets pulled down by Miles Beckett. One of the sophomores making a difference for this team here over the past few games. Beckett breaking through the offensive line for BC High and just grabbing Bjorn Broodspot by the left arm. Now facing a 3rd down. And BC High unofficially had them 3 for 4 on 3rd down conversions in this first quarter as we approach 3 minutes to go in the first. Galvin, decent time, complete in the middle of the field, reaching across. That is Colin Benson for the touchdown.
Number 16, Colin Benson on the reception. Touchdown, Eagles.
As I mentioned earlier, You don't see it a lot, but nice play by Galvin getting the ball straight into the hands of Benson. Give credit to Benson too, reaching across, and now the Eagles gonna go for two here. Hand off to Beer and Brute spot, and it's an 8-0 game. BC High in front with 2:51 to go in the first.
Trojans will return. Folks, we'd just like to remind you that as you make your way over to the concession stand tonight, a portion of the proceeds for tonight's concession stand will be donated by FOBRA, the Friends of Bridgewater Rainham Athletics.
So BC High, after a couple of hiccups early on, the offense starting to click, but now a chance here for BR to get back on offense. And you'd have to imagine that, I talked about the need for these next couple of games for the players, but maybe for the coaches as well, some situational coaching as you get ready for Thanksgiving in a couple of weeks, the SEC championship, if you will. Pacheco in his first year here as a head coach for the BR Trojans, taking over for Dan Buron, whose Trojans lost back in April the Cape Cod Cafe Cup, the first ever SEC championship game. Lawson, Marvel, Victor, 2, 3, and 4, all awaiting this kick. And really not a lot of wind to speak of. Rory Kennelly kicks it off. Strong kick by Kennelly going into the hands of Marvel. Marvel straight through the middle, only the kicker to beat, gets some protection. Zachary Marvel has just made a big difference. Back to the end zone goes Zach Marvel. Marvel straight through the middle between the hashes, got some protection right around his own 45-yard line. And nothing but open field for number 3. Just like that, without an offensive play, a pass attempt. BR makes it an 8-6 game, and now the Trojans going to go for 2 here, looking to even things up. Byrne rolling to his right. That is complete into the hands of Amin Abbasi. And we are tied up at 8.
2-point conversion is good.
Welcome to the non-playoff game where things you wouldn't think would happen, happen. And a kickoff return by Zachary Marvel, a 2-point conversion from Byrne to Abbasi. All coming a couple minutes after a BC High touchdown. And there's still 2:36 to go in the first quarter. Mentioned Byrne growing a little more confidence in his ability this season. Always something to look at with these younger quarterbacks. Just where is their confidence level? I'm starting to see the coaching staff and the play calling starting to have a little more belief in Byrne, making those throws on the run. Strong kick into the hands of Evie at his own 15-yard line. Looking to answer back, tripped up, and BC High will start from their own 34.
Going to be at the 34. It'll be 1st and 10 for the BC High Eagles.
And now it's back on the shoulders of the BR defense to try and get the Trojans back in front. As the passing has been doing really all the work here. Maxwell Galvin, the sophomore quarterback, finding his receivers in stride and some nice catches as well. Play action, Galvin, that is complete. Into open field, back and forth we go. Andrew Tolan on the far side. Can he get to the end zone? Yes.
Number 24. Andrew Tolan.
BC High and BR, difficult getting anything going, but just like that, I think that's a 66-yard touchdown play. Galvin to Toland. And again, the Eagles going to go for two here, up by 6, 14-8. A high snap. And Galvin gets ripped down by DeAndre. So nonetheless, BC High back in front.
Stopped by number 10, Nolan DeAndre.
So in about 4 plays, we've had 22 points put up on the scoreboard. As the Trojans work their way back out to the field to receive this punt, worth noting Michael Rubo not playing tonight. So a lot of the offense going to be on the shoulders of the likes of Raheny, obviously Byrne, the quarterback. Zachary Marvel, who had that kickoff return for the touchdown, and Dawson DeBose as well. We did see Mantalo start to make a difference at the end of the New Bedford game in the last few minutes. The junior kicker, Rory Kennelly, kicking off again. Lawson, Marvel, Victor, 2 through 4 on the roster for the Trojans, returning this kick. Squib kick, that's going to really go for nothing, but still BR going to be starting from their own 38-yard line, and we'll see the BR offense come back out, look to get a quick score on the board with 2:04 to go in the first quarter. So Declan Bird, 3 incomplete passes, all of them the hand of his receivers. But he also got rushed on a couple of them as well. And even his hand on the helmet, it looks like his right hand, he was shaking it on that first offensive drive. So something that bears watching as we see BR come out with a split receiver set. Abasi and DeBose in the backfield. Hand off to DeBose. That bounced off his own teammate for a 2-yard pickup.
6, Dawson DeBose. DeBose gets about 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
DeBose started really coming on the scene, starting with that St. John's prep games, took over the second half. And a good complement of DeBose and Rubo in the backfield made a difference for BR against Durfee, New Bedford, and Dartmouth. Clock winding down inside of 90 seconds to go in the opening quarter. DeBose will get taken down by Johnny Garrett.
By number 11, Johnny Garrett. It'll be 3rd down for the
So that 2-yard pickup by DeBose earlier just evened out to a net of 0 for number 6. Tells the play call to his offense and getting set for the snap from number 79, Johnny Pearson. Well, the handful of seniors here for the BR Trojans as Byrne rolls to his left on 3rd down. And he's going to have to run this one out of bounds. Couldn't find that receiver downfield.
Pushed out of bounds by number 64, Julian Pollard.
Pushed out by Julian Pollard, a junior for the Eagles, brings up fourth down.
Trojans have fourth down.
As this BR offense looks for some type of success against the BC High defense, and they'll have some time to think about it as we reach the end of the first quarter. Quite the first quarter for BC High and BR, back and forth, but nonetheless, it's the Eagles on top by 6, 14-8, second quarter coming up here on BTV. Back here at the regional, a 14-8 game. BC High on top of the BR Trojans. John Luck with you, and we had Jeff Fowler on top of the press box. In a unique non-playoff game, a high punt that takes a BC High bounce before being picked up by Braheny at the BC High 44. And a series of about 4 or 5 plays, a BC High touchdown reception by Colin Benson answered back on the very next play by Zachary Marvel with a kickoff return for a touchdown. And then a couple of plays later, it was a touchdown reception that went into the hands of Andrew Toland. And that was the scoring in about 2 minutes. As we see Maxwell Galvin back out on the field. Jacob Bierenbrud spot in the backfield, gets the handoff on first down. And as we've said, throughout most of the first quarter, every time he gets his hands on the ball, taken down by Logan Johnson.
It'll be second down, 2nd and 10 for the Eagles.
Again, you'd have to think BC High comes up with some type of combination to try and take Johnson out of the equation as far as run defense goes. Play action, Evie can't catch it right out the fingertips, brings up a third down.
It's going to be third down, 3rd and 10 for the Eagles.
And BC High 3 for 4 in the first quarter on third downs. Just 47 seconds into this second quarter. They say football is a game of inches. A football moved a couple of inches. On third down, Galvin again into the middle of the field. That is going to be incomplete.
Pass incomplete.
Intended for Benson.
That'll be 4th down for the Eagles.
So a big third down stop by the BR defense, and off the incompleted pass by Maxwell Galvin brings up a 4th down, and here comes the kick returns for the Trojans, Marvel and Victor. And again, really no wind to speak of, just a typical fall night. Temperatures in the mid-40s. A high kick. Takes a friendly Eagles roll and bounce to the 12-yard line.
97, Kennelly. Trojans will have 1st and 10.
Mentioned Lou Pacheco coaching in his first season with the BR Trojans at the head coaching position said this about enjoying the position of the Boston Herald back in August, saying, "It's been so busy trying to get everything squared away with paperwork and everything else, I haven't really even allowed myself to enjoy getting the BR job. Honestly, I think after the season's over where I can kick back and say this is the greatest job ever." Has had his players back, especially through that early losing streak against some of the top teams in the state, including Xaverian and St. John's Prep and Duxbury as well. Some misdirection here as the ball finds DeBose, who goes across the 15 to the 16 for about a 5-yard pickup.
DeBose carries it for 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
And again, one of my big takeaways is seeing what Dawson DeBose can bring this team heading into the Thanksgiving game, especially if Michael Rubio is going to be out for any extended amount of time. Plus, DeBose continues to develop, only a sophomore running back. Victor, the motion man, into the hands of DeAndre. Some fancy footwork. DeAndre gets the first down, fighting for every yard out at the 30.
DeAndre gets a BR. Going to be a BR first down, 1st and 10 from the 30.
DeAndre's development as a receiver continuing to improve, as is the quarterback play of Byrne. So that Byrne to DeAndre connection really important, especially as you enter that game against Brockton, where records really start to matter again. As these next couple of weeks, the records don't matter as much in a non-playoff situation. Off the sweep, here's Marvel on 1st down, gets some protection, and that protection runs out.
Zach Marvel on the handoff. Brings up 2nd down, 2nd and 10.
Haven't really seen the jet sweep used a lot by the BR Trojans this year, so again, there's that situational coaching that could show here, not just this week, but also next week as well for BR. A 2nd and 10. Byrne rushed, loses the ball, but that's going to be recovered by the Trojans. I think that's Pearson. Yep, that's Pearson that dove right on the ball. Some nice heads-up play there by number 79. It looked like one of the BC High players actually had it initially before it popped back out. So after all that, about a 4-yard loss brings up a 3rd and 14, as the Trojans have yet to convert on a 3rd down.
We need that 12th player.
Only a couple minutes into this 2nd quarter. Trojans down by 6. Byrne, clean look downfield for Braheny and incomplete. Being trailed by number 85, Devin Deere. Just a situation there where Byrne overthrew his intended receiver, but the offensive line coming out strong there, allowing Byrne more than enough time to survey the field and try and find Braheny. He's in the backfield for BC High for the punt. And again, it took a BC High bounce, and the Eagles are going to start in pretty good field position here from the BR 46.
High punts.
These two teams not in the playoffs, but there are 16 teams from Division II. Central Catholic, the top seed. A lot of people having an issue with Central Catholic being in Division II, but nonetheless, they take on number 16 Woburn. Bishop B and Reading Memorial, the 8-9 matchup. Number 4 Marshfield against number 13 Beverly. Number 5 Lincoln Sudbury against number 12 Wellesley. Number 2 Milford against Hingham. And the Barnstable team, number 11 in the Division II playoffs, taking on number 6 Mansfield here tonight. But here the regional with 8.5 to go in the 2nd quarter, a 14-8 game. Almost looked like a broken play there as Galvin threw the ball incomplete. Looks like intended for Evie. Evie, the motion man, gets it on the sweep. Some nice protection by the Eagles here on the near side before being pushed out by Braheny.
Number 5, Emmy, pushed out of bounds by number 12, Ryan Braheny.
That'll be good enough for the Eagles. First down with 8:17 to go.
Eagles start first and 10 from the 33-yard line.
Well, the team that the BR Trojans will play on Thanksgiving, the Brockton Boxers, they're the 13 seed taking on number 4 Zavarian in the Division I playoffs. And again, a playoff situation that not a lot of people are a fan of, and we'll get to the reason why here after the play, as Beerenbrut spot straight through the middle, taken down by, I believe that's number 52. Make that
number 57, Miles Beckett.
57, Miles Beckett. But these are state playoffs, so a lot of these teams have to travel ridiculous amounts of miles here. Take, for example, the 16 seed Lynn Tech going to Hoosac Valley in Adams, Mass. Lynn Tech has to travel 145 miles, which is pretty crazy to think about when you think about student athletes and the classroom all day. Beerenbrut spot across the 20 to the 17. The 13th seed East Hampton, I should say, at the 4 seed Rockland. East Hampton has to travel 118 miles. Number 9 Norton at number 8 Pittsfield. Norton has to travel 140 miles. So this is something for the powers to be to think about here over the next couple of years, how to change this playoff system, because 140 miles is a little ridiculous here for a high school football first round game.
17.
But nonetheless, here in a non-playoff situation, Evie takes it on the sweep. Running out of room. And all that work for about a 4-yard pickup.
Second down for the Eagles. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Of course, a number of the playoff teams working their way to try and play at Gillette Stadium, which that's been a situation in itself, with the situation involving the Revolution potentially playing in the MLS Cup, maybe some scheduling situations there. A 2nd and 7. Again, straight through the middle, caught by Beerenbrut spot. And he was met by DeAndre as he caught the ball, so it'll be a first down at the 4. Beerenbrut spot has been all over the field for BC High in the first half. As we're past the halfway point, 5:30 to go in the first half. Eagles looking to add another score on the board. Right now, number 16, Colin Benson by himself before now being met up by Mantalos. Handoff, Beerenbrut spot. Taken down inside the 1 by Johnson. And after a 9-game losing streak going back to March, Ed Mante's team here came to play. And when you're talking about a lot of younger players, they're just looking for some momentum. They like the feeling of winning last week against Malden Catholic, so they want to continue on their winning ways, and they've had some winning seasons over the past 5-6 years. A 9-1 campaign a couple years ago. Beerenbrut spot, lowers the head, lowers the boom for the touchdown.
Eagles.
So a short 1-yard run by Jacob Beerenbrut spot puts the Eagles in front 20-8. You have to wonder if perhaps the Eagles just don't have a field goal kicker or a place kicker. As again, they go for 2. So far, they're 1 for 2 here tonight. Galvin throwing it for the corner of the end zone, Evie, and that's going to be incomplete. So a 20-8 game.
Eagles 20.
with 4:28 to go in the first half. As Jacob Ehrenbrut's spot has become a difficult player for the defense of the Trojans to try and hone in on. A jet sweep and a short 1 yard run, and just like that, the Eagles back in front by 12. It is worth noting at this point in the game the fact that BC High did win the toss, so they will be on defense to open up the second half. Trojans potentially with a situation here where they can have the ball on 2 straight drives. Canelli with a low kick, but catches a lot of yardage. And perhaps accidentally stepping out of bounds. That's Zachary Victor, I should say. And the Trojans will start all the way back at their own 7-yard line, it looks like.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Trojans looking for some inspiration from their fans, folks.
BR at this point with 4:28 to go inside their own 10. You'd have to imagine for these first couple of plays, it's just about the field position situation. As the last offensive drive for BC High started at the BR 47-yard line. Exactly sure if Lupichico is trying to ask about the ball rolling out of bounds. It looked like from the position here in the booth that Victor just caught the ball and accidentally stepped on the sideline. So after all that, get things sorted out. The Trojans on offense from their own 7. Number 4, Victor, doesn't have anybody on him right now. They go to DeBose, and DeBose gets a small gain, if anything. Maybe worked his way back up to the line of scrimmage.
Number 6, Dawson DeBose.
So far, the offensive line for the Trojans tested against this BC High defense, making Declan Byrne work for any passing plays and giving Dawson DeBose a difficult time. And the ball goes in the hands of number 6, DeBose, trying to find some open lanes. We get a flag. Just the second flag of the night here by the officials. So far, it's been a clean night as far as the penalties are concerned by the BR Trojans. And it continues to be a clean night. A face mask. Last thing BC High wants to do is give any free yardage to this BR offense. Because, again, right now you're trying to worry about the field position perhaps more than the scoreboard. Now, right now, the ball is at the 26. With 3:30 to go in the first half. Again, Trojans will get the ball to open up the second half. Quick pass wrapped up is Marvel.
Screen pass to number 3, Zach Marvel. Met by the BC High Eagles. That'll bring up second down.
So this will take us inside of 3 minutes to go. And the Trojans in this game with more questions than answers when it comes to how to hang with the BC High football team. Quick pass to Victor, almost a dump pass. Victor across the 35, up to the 36. Zach Victor very close to a first down.
Victor brings it out about 8 yards or so. It'll be...
And they'll give him the first down.
Movement.
We haven't seen a lot of those short dump passes by the Trojans this season. So again, a chance to kind of try out some of those plays that the Trojans were working on in practice over the past couple of months. Rennie on the near side. Marvel the motion man on the sweep. And taken down by 3 Eagles, including number 53, Matthew Collins Jr. With 1:46 to go, we get a timeout taken by the BR Trojans as Lou Pacheco trying to figure out the right combination here to pick up a first down. Right now it's a 2nd and 12, 1:46 to go in the second quarter.
Folks, don't forget at halftime we will be having our BR marching band.
It was a fun day here earlier this week as Bridgewater Rainham hosted pep rally. Students from all 4 classes came here to the football field, and all the fall sports teams got to run out on the field, including the football team. There was tug of war, a noise contest, and a scavenger hunt that had Nolan DeAndre playing defense against a freshman. Got contentious at some points, but still nice clean contest by all 4 classes. The seniors came out on top, celebrating on the field, and including doing a little body surfing as well. Right now is 2nd and 12, 1:46 to go. Byrne going really deep here, and through the hands of Zachary Marvel. That had the potential to really be a difference maker in this game. And we know that Byrne can air it out. We saw that passing play to Breheny against St. John's Prep. Mentioned he's getting a little more comfortable in these passing situations. But now a 3rd and 12 awaits the Trojans offense with 1:39 to go.
3rd and 12,
The stop here by the BC High defense. Still more than enough time for Maxwell Galvin and the Eagles offense to try and get something else on the scoreboard before halftime. Breheny completes it, picks up a few yards to Zachary Victor.
Quick pass to number 4, Victor.
So we'll still be well short of the first down. But at the very least, again, that field position situation working out. With 1:31 to go, Byrne coming back out for the play call. Records don't really matter here in this game. A 4-receiver set. Victor moves to the far side. Byrne surveying for Breheny, and that is going to be caught. Nice grab by Ryan Breheny along the sidelines.
First down play for the Trojans.
Declan Byrne improving as a surveyor, looking down the field. He had a nice look for Marvel on the previous play that was incomplete. And how about on fourth down, going right along the sidelines to Ryan Braheny for a new set of downs for the Trojans. And incomplete on first down, intended for Victor, pushed out simultaneously by number 34, Andrew Walsh. Still a minute 19 to go. Clock not really an issue. Trojans have 2 timeouts left, and obviously the clock stops to move the chains on first downs. Right now, a 2nd and 10 for Bridgewater Rainham. Again with a man in motion, Byrne dumps it off for Zachary Marvel, and Marvel tripped up at the 31, and a drive that started back at their own 7-yard line. Bridgewater Rainham continues to pick up yards and first downs.
First down, Trojans.
Already close to a 63-yard drive. As time winds down, we hit 1 minute to play in the first half. Byrne will complete it again to Braheny.
Pass to Braheny.
And not really a good thing if you're the BC High defense if you allow a receiver to not just catch the ball on the sideline, but also take the time, look down for the foot, and eventually stepping out. 52 seconds to go now.
Big plays here, folks, big plays.
Again, the Trojans open up the second half on offense. Now this drive could be a difference maker in this game. Byrne has a protection. Nice tight window catch by Zachary Victor. Had a couple of defenders on either side of him. And Victor with a huge grab at the 4.
Number 4. That gives another BR first down. It is now 1st and goal from the 4-yard line.
46 seconds to go. A timeout by Bridgewater Rainham.
Timeout Trojans.
And this is about as picture perfect of a drive as you can imagine for Lou Pacheco and the BR Trojans offense. Again, starting back at their own 7-yard line after an accidental stepping out of bounds by Zachary Victor, and Victor with a huge grab around the 5-yard line with 46 seconds to go. And right now, pretty much the playbook is open completely for the offense for the Trojans. BR has 1 timeout left. So at this point, you have to wonder, do you go with Dawson DeBose on the run? Still with 46 seconds left. It's a 1st and goal from the 5. Or excuse me, the 4. Not exactly a lot to reset. Right now it's Nolan DeAndre out at the quarterback position. So DeAndre in the shotgun. DeAndre on the run, a designed run, and that'll be a short loss.
10,
and a timeout taken by Lou Pacheco again, so the Trojans out of timeouts. A bad play call there, going for the designed run with 46 seconds to go. Lou Pacheco knowing that he still had 1 timeout left to burn. We have seen Zachary Victor on the sweep a few times on this drive. Could that be a potential?
Here comes up. Here comes up. Here comes up. Y'all really want it like that. Here comes up. Here comes up. Here comes up. Y'all really want it like that.
So right now, Marvel, Victor, and Braheny on the near side of the offense for the Trojans. DeAndre split out far left. 39 seconds left to go in the first half. Byrne completes it to Marvel, And Marvel sidestepping opposition to the end zone for the touchdown. Zachary Marvel, fancy footwork and all, closes the gap. Now a 20-14 game. As Lou Pacheco hugs his senior receiver. Mason Berry on for the PAT. And with 31 seconds to go, it's a 20-15 game. And don't forget, as I mentioned a couple times, BR opens up the second half on offense.
30 seconds left in the half. The score, BC High Eagles 20, Trojans 16.
Some gutsy play by the BR Trojans offense in this non-playoff game. You have to go back to a couple of fancy catches by Braheny along the sideline, keeping his feet in bounds. Also, Declan Byrne able to scramble out of the pocket and have that time to survey his receivers down the field. Now, if you're Ed Mancy, do you try and go for a score with 31 seconds left? Or do you just take a knee and enjoy the 5-point lead? Strong kick, and the flag comes out as the ball bounces out around the 20. So we had some questions on the BR offensive drive when the ball bounced out, but no question here, just a question of is it accepted? And it is, as the Eagles will start out from their own 30. On the near side for the Eagles, Marshall Rice, number 3, Benjamin Evie, number 5. Handoff goes to Beerenbrut spot. Hits the gas. Beerenbrut spot in the BR territory. The clock will stop momentarily to the BR 46. Clock stops at 22 seconds, and Manti can call a timeout with 3 timeouts.
Beerenbrut out to midfield.
In his
Stopped by
pocket.
number 4, Zach Victor.
Stopped
Eagles
by
with the first down. It's gonna be
Zachary
first and
Victor.
10 from the 46 of the Trojans.
And we do indeed get a timeout taken by the Eagles with 22 seconds left. Beerenbrut spot, give him credit. He knew where he was going and just hit the accelerator. Now with 22 seconds to go in a game where the most logical decisions don't really come to the top of mind here. But do you go for Evie on the sideline? And we've seen a couple of nice catches by Andrew Toland along the sideline as well. From the 46. Beerenbrut spot. A short pickup to the 43, and we get another timeout called by BC High with 16 seconds left.
Second down, second and 6.
As we get ready for halftime, I have to imagine Lou Pacheco pretty happy with what he's seen so far, despite being down by 5 at the moment. After our first half, where BC High ran the ball, passed the ball with ease.
Feel free to stop over at the concession stand.
BR defense coming out big, and we've talked about the play of Declan Byrne and Zachary Victor, who sidestepped about 3 defenders from BC High to get into the end zone to make it a 20-15 game. Awkward snap there. And that is going to be complete for the first down as Galvin found Evie on the sidelines. So the clock stops for the moment with 7 seconds to go and a timeout taken by Ed Manti.
7 seconds left, folks.
Now both teams
first down, 1st and 10 from the
with no timeouts remaining, and
35.
a big decision here for the Eagles, who come into this game at 1-7. And the BR Trojans winners of 3 of their last 4. It'll be interesting to see here just how many defenders for the Trojans are along that defensive line and how many do you drop back for that prevent defense.
Folks, 7 seconds left. Big defense.
7 seconds to go, most likely the final play. Barring a catch along the sidelines. Galvin forced out of the pocket, rushed by Johnson, and taken down by Logan Johnson. That is how BR ends the first half with a player who has been the story defensively, Logan Johnson, making the Eagles' first half very difficult at times. And right now it is BC High with a 5-point lead, 20-15. We'll have the third quarter coming up in just a little bit here on BTV.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to draw your attention to the football field as we welcome in the BR Marching Band. The Bridgewater Rainham Marching Band is proud to present this year's show, Along Came the Spider. Your BR drum majors are Luke Jones and Olivia Jelzevich. The BR color guard captains are Sarah Driscoll and Kenny Storm. Luke, is the band ready? The field is yours. Folks, I stepped away that I didn't get to hear you guys cheer. One more big round of applause for the Bridgewater Rainham Marching Band.
Back here at the regional where BC High has the 20-15 lead over the BR Trojans. I'm John Luck. We have Jeff Fowler up top on the press box, taking video of a pretty back and forth game as these two teams exchange scores in about a 2-minute span. A Colin Benson touchdown reception put BC High on the board first with a 2-point conversion. That was answered back by Zachary Marvel running one back to even things up after a 2-point conversion. And then it was a Andrew Tolan touchdown reception of 66 yards. Baron Bruce spot a 1-yard run to put us at a 20-15 game. As the Trojans started off fairly slowly on both sides of the ball, but in the second quarter clicked it into high gear. As this is a squib kick that gets covered up at the 30. As it looks like Alexander Mantalos was about to get run over by about 4 or 5 Eagles players. As Declan Byrne comes back out, and Byrne started off slowly, including a 3-and-out with 3 incomplete passes. But has since really turned things around, surveying the field a little better, including a couple of nice passes to Ryan Braheny on the sideline and a short passing touchdown to Zachary Victor as the final score of the first half.
On the return, 1st and 10.
First play of the second half is a run straight up the middle by Dawson DeBose.
DeBose on the carry picks up 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
BC High doing a pretty good job of stopping the run. DeBose really hasn't gotten anything going, as it has been the passing that has really been the difference here in the first half. See if that changes here in half number 2. Power I formation, Braheny on the near side. Hard count, hand off to DeBose. Bounces off a couple of defenders for another yard or so, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and long here on the opening drive offensively for the BR Trojans.
DeBose on that carry, met first by number 53, Matthew Collins.
I pointed out earlier that this is a non-playoff game, so records don't really matter here, if you will. This is more about just trying to figure some stuff out, both for the players and for the coaching staffs as well. As we've seen some interesting play calling here on both sides of the ball, but nonetheless a 3rd and about 6 for the Trojans. Byrne throwing on the run for Braheny, and a flag.
Oh, big pass play, but
Devin Deere had good defense all the way up until the moment Braheny almost got to the ball. And we'll see if the officials agree.
that flag is pass interference on the defense.
So after what could have been a early 3-and-out for the Trojans, now a new set of downs and quite the pickup.
Federation rules, 15 yards.
Initially, it looked like Deere
series.
wasn't really
That is
playing for the
PR.
ball, but
A first down.
had his face right in the face of Breheny.
Trojans will start first and 10 from the 49.
So now the ball moves up to the BR 49. And again, a new set of downs for the Trojans. Here's the pitch to Mantalos, going to the far side, getting some blocking. Mantalos tripped up around the first down marker. And it looks like he will have just enough for the first down.
The flag's moving again. That's a PR first down.
We talked about Mantalos a lot in the fourth quarter of the game against New Bedford, as he got a bulk of the offense, and with no Michael Rubo here tonight, Mantalos is the second man on the depth chart behind DeBose, and Mantalos making the best of his blocking and his opportunities. Breheny and DeAndre on the near side. Byrne throwing on the run. A little too long of a pass there for Breheny. I've said personally in this game that I want to see Byrne throw that ball between the hashes. We saw that a few times from the BC High quarterback Maxwell Galvin, and Byrne is improving as a passer, but the one thing that maybe needs to be worked on a little bit is just seeing that those passes between the hashes really spread out that secondary of BC High. On second down, the pitch goes to Mantalos, gets some blocking, and will pick up a couple of yards, a couple of hard-earned yards to bring up a third and long.
Met by a flock of Eagles.
One of the Eagles players slow to get up, Sean Murphy. Really weather not an issue tonight, as it's more chilly than anything else. Perhaps the coldest games these two teams have played this season.
Give that player a round of applause.
Looks like it may just be a cramping situation in the case of Murphy. Right now, 41 degrees here in Bridgewater. If you go on top of the press box, it feels just about every bit of 41 degrees, maybe a few degrees cooler. Or as Jeff Fowler said, not good battery weather. Now the Trojans offense back at work, facing a 3rd and 9. Only 3 on the defensive line for the Eagles. Here's DePose catching the screen pass, and that'll be all for about a 1-yard gain to the 37-38 yard line. And at this point in the field, you would have to imagine the Trojans, I was going to say you'd have to imagine the Trojans go for it, but Mantalos, who is kicking earlier, is back out. Benjamin Evie awaiting the kick. An opening drive that lasted a little more than 3 minutes for BR. They're going fake here. Records out the window. Breheny with a grab. Fake punt, big catch. And Breheny slow to get up, but he will make his way up and gets off the field. Nolan DeAndre cutting off that snap, and the quarterback back at work.
From the 12-yard line for the Trojans, folks.
And Raheny got absolutely smoked at the 12-yard line, but nonetheless, after that huge play, the drive continues. So a new set of downs, and the Trojans can still pick up another first down. And a drive that's lasted nearly 4 minutes to open up the second half. Handoff goes to Mantalos.
Gonzalez on the carry.
Will pick up about a yard or so.
Mantalos on the carry. Second down, 2nd and 9.
And again, this is where that situational coaching can be practiced on, and kind of just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, as you wouldn't typically see a fake punt play down by 5, but nonetheless still a huge turn of events. As the Trojans playing for the lead, and I think that's Mantalos on the carry. Make that actually number 3, Zachary Marvel.
Marvel on the carry, stopped by the Eagles defense. It's going to be 3rd down.
This is a tough spot here because, yes, it's a 3rd and relatively long here, but it's from the 10-yard line when that secondary starts to come in a little bit here just from a lack of space. The power formation here for the Trojans. Byrne looking to pass. Gets the pass off. We get a flag. That's going to be out of bounds, and depending on what this flag is, it could be another big break here for the Trojans. It could be holding, as I think Johnson was making his way from the near side to the far side, but we wait for the official's call.
We have holding on the defense.
And that is the case.
Eagles.
So a pass interference call on 3rd down earlier in the drive gave the Trojans new life, and a holding call here makes it a 3rd down. So it'll just be a 3rd and about 2.
So we go from 3rd
and a wholesale of changes. As Johnson and Mantalos among those coming off, and Declan Byrne coming off as well. So Nolan DeAndre, rather just the play call actually coming in. DeVos in the backfield on Byrne's left. Byrne throwing, and incomplete, intended for Raheny. Brings up a 4th down, and the Trojans are going to take the points here, going for 3. Again, really no wind to speak of here at the regional.
Number 33, Mason.
Hard-fought drive by the BR Trojans offense that lasted nearly 5.5 minutes, resulting in a Mason Berry field goal opportunity here. And the kick is good.
And it's good.
A 20-18 game.
It'll be
between the Trojans and the Eagles.
BC High Eagles 20, Bridgewater Raynham Trojans 18.
Last time these two teams met up was actually in a non-playoff game back a few years ago on November 15th, and BR won that game 24-6. As these two teams have a long football history of success. Right now, both squads just going through some growing pains, it looks like, more than anything else. As, again, you look at the BR Trojans starting things off with a 4-game losing streak, but then they come back, take 3 of 4, and now having an opportunity to play for the conference championship on Thanksgiving morning against the Brockton Boxers. Evie awaiting the kick that goes end over end. It goes high, doesn't really go far. Fair catch called by Aaron Brood spot. And now we see Maxwell Galvin and the Eagles offense coming out for the first time here in the second half with 6:35 to go.
Recovered by the Eagles. They will be 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line.
The second quarter, for the most part, for the Eagles is predicated on the running game. First quarter was more the passing game. And they open things up with a run. Bierenbrud spot to the far side and into BR territory to the 49.
Bierenbrud's out through midfield.
Bierenbrud spot. The last couple of handoffs I've seen going back to the first half, he just hits that gas pedal and goes straight forward. Really no second guessing, no deciding on where to go. So a new set of downs and an incomplete pass.
Pass incomplete.
Intended for Evie.
Second down, 2nd and 10.
Almost looks like BC High uses that second down play after a big run like that, almost as a throwaway play, if you will. Kind of a chance to try and keep BR on their toes, see if they fall for some type of different count. On second down, Bierenbrud spot. Again, a decent pickup across the 45 to the 44.
Last tackle by number 76, Jake Withington.
Jake Withington with the last stop. As we go inside, 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. As the passing play tipped up and incomplete. Zachary Victor had a good look at it. DeAndre playing good defense there in the secondary. May have been the one that actually tipped it up.
It's going to be 4th down for the Eagles.
Brings up a big 4th down. We haven't seen the Eagles, I believe, kick at all tonight except for kickoffs after a score to open up the second half. Trojans faithful getting behind their football team, who are facing a 4th and 5. Marshall Rice on the near side. Galvin will complete the pass, and the drive continues on for the Eagles. A big 4th down reception.
First down, Eagles.
And it's Benson with the reception on the far side. Doesn't really look like Galvin has much of a drop back, maybe 1 or 2 steps before he gets rid of the ball in some cases.
1st and 10 from the 36.
Really puts that secondary at a big test of the BR Trojans. Bierenbrud spot, takes the run, and picks up about 4.
Run up the middle by number 26. It'll be 2nd down, 2nd and 6.
Does Ed Manti, the head coach of BC High, does he start to switch up the play calling at some point? Because we've seen a good helping of Bierenbrud spot. Does he just continue to go with what works? We've also seen the second down plays typically as those check down, throwaway plays, but Bierenbrud spot gets the handoff, and he probably wishes he didn't as he gets taken down by Miles Beckett again. Beckett and Johnson have been a couple of names we've said a lot tonight.
Number 55, Nathan Leach, and number 57, Miles Beckett.
Also credit Nathan Leach with a stop as well, so about a 3-yard loss there.
Third down, 3rd and 10
A 3rd and 10. We've seen number 16, who's working his way to the near side here, Colin Benson, getting a healthy dose of the receptions on these 3rd and long passing plays. Also Evie on the far side. So those are the two receivers that we've seen BC High go with a lot in this game on these big 3rd and 4th down receptions. All the time in the world, completes it to number 24, Andrew Toland, as one of the referees was down on the ground for the moment, but back to his feet.
4th down, 4th and, I'm gonna call it 4.
That offensive line for BC High doing a great job protecting Galvin tonight. But this is the part in the game when the defense needs to step up for the BR Trojans. They face about a 4th and 4 from the 30. Hard count by Galvin. Still a 2-point game, so a big play upcoming. Ed Bancy recognizes how big of a moment this is for his football team, calls a timeout. They're going to examine their options. And as I mentioned, a couple of the players that we've seen make differences on these 3rd and 4th down passing plays. Benjamin Evie, number 5, number 16, Colin Benson, and Andrew Tolan as well, number 24, someone else to watch out for between those hash marks. And we've seen Nolan DeAndre with a couple of tit passes as well, and really all game long, you have to give credit to number 87, Logan Johnson for the Trojans, and also 57, Miles Beckett, doing a good job throwing off the timing of some of those running plays of the Eagles. So again, just a reminder, coming up in a couple of weeks, the BR Trojans back here at the Regional taking on the Brocken Boxers, another installment of the Cape Cod Cafe Cup. Always a fun game early in the morning, classic tradition of Thanksgiving football. That comes up in a couple of weeks, but right now with 2:43 to go in the 3rd, a big play upcoming here for the BR defense. Benson at the near side. And also number 24, Toland, he's in that slot position. This crowd's starting to make some noise for the Trojans. Galvin throws up a prayer, and that is going to be too tall of a pass. The BR defense comes up strong.
A turnover on downs. 1st down, Trojans.
That defensive line of the Trojans may have proved to be in the head of Galvin, who just set back a couple of steps and threw up a strong back shoulder throw that turned out to be too strong of a pass. I believe that was Rice who was going to be a intended receiver. But nonetheless, it's the Trojans offense back on the field, and they can take a lead here with 2:38 to go in the 3rd. Still plenty of time for both teams. DeAndre goes in motion on 1st down. The pitch goes to DeBose. Dawson DeBose, wide turn. Dawson DeBose down the sideline to the 44. Had his eyes on number 11, Johnny Garrett, but there's that protection that makes DeBose maybe go a little too wide of a turn. That gave him just enough space to tiptoe the sideline. But we may have a flag here. Did he maybe have some help? As Johnny Garrett did have a couple of steps on his defender, so maybe, yeah, holding looks like it is the call here. So what would have been a big 1st down pickup now turns into a 1st and 15.
That brings up 1st down and 15.
Split receiver look for the Trojans. Handoff goes to DeBose. And DeBose will pick up a couple of yards as BC High more than happy to allow the Trojans to get those small 2- and 3-yard gains.
Stopped by number 53, Collins.
So Johnny Garrett, number 11 for BC High, he kind of sticks out just because of his height, 6'6", 260. Also plays tight end. One of the seniors for the Eagles. On 2nd and 12, Burns steps up and throws it in between the hands of DeAndre, who was getting rushed by number 72, John Curran. And it brings up a 3rd and about 12 here for the Trojans. We have seen the Eagles make some mental errors, including a pass interference and a holding call, both of those on 3rd down, the last BR offensive drive. Victor Ambraheni on the near side, DeAndre on the far side, now Marvel the motion man. Burn, and that'll be incomplete.
Pass incomplete.
As we see the punting team come out for the BR Trojans. Right now, Benjamin Evie right around midfield, or maybe just inching over to his own 49, 48-yard line. We saw a fake punt a couple drives ago. Obviously won't happen here with the Trojans set so far back in their own territory, and not the world's best punt, but gets a friendly bounce and roll here at the regional, and the Eagles will start out from the BR 48-yard line. This is game number 2 here at the regional, as the Trojans were kind of the team without a home. As far as game nights go, they opened the season against Duxbury and East Bridgewater. And they took on Xaverian in Taunton. They took on St. John's Prep in Brockton. And finally, home sweet home here at the regional, where they opened up against New Bedford on a beautiful new turf field. After the initial turf field was down since, I believe, 2007, 2008. On 1st down, Bjornbrud spot straight through the middle for a couple of yards.
Stop by number 55, Nathan Leach.
Leach with the stop to bring up a 2nd and 9. They have time for one more play in the 3rd quarter. Down to 20 seconds to go. It's been a back and forth game. Galvin, incomplete, looking for Bjornbrud's spot now with 4 seconds to go.
3rd and 9.
Brings up a 3rd and 9, and these 3rd downs continue to get more and more important for the BR defense, which has been tested here tonight.
Here we go, BR fans. 3rd down, 3rd and 9.
Here the Trojans faithful once again getting up for the defense. Galvin, quick pass along the sidelines, knocked away by Braheny to end the 3rd quarter.
Incomplete. Defended by number 12, Ryan Braheny.
Braheny, a big catch in the 3rd, a big stop to end the 3rd. And a big 4th and 9 coming up for the BC High Eagles. As we are through 3 quarters of play, it's the Eagles on top of the Trojans 20-18 here on BTV.
Lots of football left to go, folks. Here we go.
A 2-point game and a 4th and 9 coming up for the BC High Eagles, who look like they are getting ready to kick it away. Rory Kennelly set to kick it away to number 4, Zachary Victor of the BR Trojans. In a back and forth game, Kennelly end over end. And the Eagles, or rather the Trojans, will start out from their own 14. John Luck here at the regional. Jeff Fowler on camera for us, and I always like to remind you here in the 4th quarter that you can always help out with some of our productions as we continue to look for volunteers. Very simple. Log on to btvaccess.com if you want a little more information on what we do. Also, you can call the studio 508-697-1833. A number of volunteer opportunities are available, including here at the regional. We look for people of all ages. It doesn't exactly have to be the oldest of folks or the youngest of folks. We look for a good blend, as here on first down, lowering the boom. That is Abassi, the fullback, lowering the shoulder and making a big difference, picking up about 5 yards.
Amin Abassi on the carry. Abassi picking up 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Abassi actually was the receiver who caught the 2-point conversion in the first quarter after the kickoff return by Zachary Marvel. Here's DeBose on 2nd down, and that will be a short loss for the sophomore running back. Brings up a 3rd and about 6, maybe 7 for the Trojans.
Brings up 3rd down. Trojans looking at 3rd and 6.
We've seen the passing plays start to work a little more for the Trojans offense, as Braheny has been the recipient of a couple of 3rd down passing plays in the second half. Also Marvel and DeAndre on the near side. Byrne throws on the run. That is caught by Marvel on the far side.
Number 3, Zach Marvel, good enough for
a big reception by number 3 on 3rd down. And when you're inside the 25, it's more about the field position, but now it's turned into about trying to get more points on the scoreboard. As now the ball moves to the BR 33. That was going to DeBose, and Johnny Garrett had that one snuffed out with ease.
Defense number 11, Johnny Garrett, read the playmaker. Brings up 2nd down for the Trojans.
DeBose coming into this game with a decent amount of success over the past few games, but you gotta give credit to the BC High defensive line, keeping the running game at bay, taking out that Abassi 5-yard pickup a few plays ago. Marvel the motion man. Byrne with a deep drop back. And that was a broken down play, as I believe that was Victor who caught it and then caught a couple of defenders as well.
Pass to number 4, Victor.
And the Trojans going in the wrong direction, now facing a third and
long.
about 17, 18 here. Kind of gives away the certain play calls. Can't imagine they go to running play given what we've seen over the past few handoffs to DeBose. Byrne was stepping up, throws it, and that is caught by Victor. And Victor will get the first down by a couple of yards to the 45. Third and 17. And just like that, BR converts for a new set of downs as we approach 8.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Gutsy pass by number 17. But a huge catch by Zachary Victor, who caught a touchdown reception in the final couple of minutes of the first half. DeAndre on the near side. DeBose goes off tackle, and he'll pick up a yard or so.
DeBose picks up a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
As we go inside of 8 minutes to go, still a 2-point game.
Inbounds by number 44, Dylan Pavlov.
20-18, the BC High Eagles, with all their touchdowns, they've attempted 2-point conversions. If my math is right here, they're 1 for 3 on the conversions, but again, that's by my math, and doing math on air sometimes is a good idea. Berhenny split out to the near side here on 2nd and 9. The pitch to DeBose. Looking to pace out some of his defenders. DeBose, a good pickup. DeBose inside the red zone to the 15, 16-yard line. Dawson DeBose with a game-changing run. Had Amina Bassi providing some backup and a couple of blocks, but DeBose outpacing his defenders once he got to around the 45 or the 40 of BC High. .6:55 to go in the fourth. DeBose gets it through the middle. And these pickups are becoming more and more sizable for number 6.
Run up the middle for a few. It'll be 2nd down, 2nd and 7.
Two teams playing for pride right now, and it's been a pretty interesting game over the first 3+ quarters. As DeBose gets the 2nd down carry and gets up to the 11.
DeBose picks it up for a few more. It's going to be 3rd down.
Something I pointed out at the start of the game is just to see how Dawson DeBose and Declan Byrne continue to work into the BR offense. Again, these two are sophomores, so there's obviously a long time to develop these two players, but taking on some tough tests at the start of the season, seeing what success feels like, and taking on a BC High team that is coming off of a momentum builder with a win against Malden Catholic last week. Again, some space to grow for these two. As here's DeBose through the defense into the end zone. Dawson DeBose just put BR in front. Dawson DeBose had a difficult time in the first 3 quarters, but here in the fourth, ripped off about a 40-yard run, and from about 12 yards out, finds the end zone. And now it's a 24-20 game, and Lupichico electing to go for the PAT, looking to make it a 5-point advantage for BR. And we get a timeout called by the BR Trojans. Right now, whether BR goes for 1 or 2, I don't really think makes a difference because right now, if they go for 2, it's a 26-20 game, and BC High, if they get to the end zone, then all you need is a point after to get the lead. But at this point, I think there's questions as to whether or not there's actually a place kicker for BC High. So Burns coming out. I see Braheny and DeAndre, and also Zachary Victor. So this may tilt Lupichico's hand at going for 2. Byrne chased out of the pocket. On the run, throws it, and it's intercepted by Dylan Duncan. So a 24-20 game. As I mentioned, it was essentially a house money situation for Lupichico because, again, if BC High, they get a touchdown, if they got the 2 points here at BR, you'd be talking about potentially a 26-26 game. Then you only need a point after to get the touchdown, or excuse me, the victory. Not much wind to worry about here, so can't imagine that figured into the equation, but nonetheless a 24-20 game in the fourth quarter, 5:10 to go. We've seen both offenses get the ball up the field very quickly. We've also seen them be methodical in their play calling.
5 minutes left of football, folks. Keep those cheers roaring.
As Mason Berry comes on to kick it away. High end over end into the hands of John Pine. And Pine into BR territory near the 45.
John Pine on the carry. Pine brings it off across midfield.
And with that return, it just gets more interesting with 5:04 to go.
It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 46.
As Maxwell Galvin comes out once again for the Eagles offense. Colin Benson on the near side. Handoff goes to Bierenbrut spot for a very little gain. Looks like number 62.
Middle, stopped by an army of Trojans.
Aaron Pacier involved in the stop. Saw DeAndre in there as well. And as we go inside of 5 minutes to go. Right now, BC High, not really in any rush. The last thing you want to do is, obviously you want to get in the end zone, but the last thing you want to do is leave too much time for the Trojans offense. So not exactly in a hurry. Stepping up is the QB, and going down is the QB as Evan Thrasher falls on top of Galvin to bring up a 3rd and 8.
Good second effort. It's 3rd and 7.
And this will take us inside of 4 minutes to go.
Third and 7 for BR defense.
Evie on the far side. Rice and Benson on the near side for the Eagles. Galvin has the time, looks downfield, intercepted. Zachary Victor had it,
Almost
but then
intercepted.
dropped it.
Great
Zachary
defensive
Victor
play.
almost made a game-changing play and is down on the field right now. After he got the ball, I popped out as he fell back first, I think. He just had the wind knocked out of him. At least that's what you hope for.
Folks, let's hear it for him. Up on his own.
So Victor is up on his feet, and that's a good sight to see. So right now there's 3:22. The referee just came over to the near side here. They're going to adjust the clock up to 3 minutes and 39 seconds. So a big fourth down play coming up for both teams here in the fourth quarter. The game simply for Pride, and Pride is showing at a critical moment between BC High and BR. Low snap. Galvin going on the run, and Galvin going to the turf.
Quarterback tries to take it on his own.
Number 55, Nathan Leach, might have just clinched this one with 3:32 to go in the fourth.
Nathan Leach is there to stop him on the fourth.
Galvin spent his time in the pocket surveying the field. Give credit where it's due to the secondary of the BR Trojans, sealing up all the receivers. Unfortunately, Galvin stepped off too late, and Nathan Leach was there to meet him.
Bridgewater Raynham offense comes out 1st and 10 from the 43.
I do believe both teams still have their full complement of timeouts. So that could be something that comes into play here with 3:32 to go in the fourth quarter. Here's DeBose, ripped down by Garrett. And a timeout quickly called. Down to 3:23.
Timeout Eagles.
Right now, in high school football, still plenty of time to go. 3:22, 2 timeouts left for BC High. Can't exactly go with the ball on the ground mentality. The Chico and the Trojans offense still have to play a passing game here, I would think, especially along the sidelines. Maybe look for a little more Ryan Verhenne and some single coverage. Verhenne on the near side, and DeBose on the backfield. Pitch goes to DeBose, and wrapped up and taken down.
DeBose nowhere to run in the Stop in the backfield by the Eagles. It's going to be third down, 3rd and long for the.
And time ticking down now, down to
Trojans
3:10. We
offense.
get a timeout called by BC High. At least I thought we did.
Trojans are looking at about.
Yeah, it looks like we're going
14.
inside. 3 minutes to go. And the Trojans looking to kill off as much clock as possible. Johnny Pearson makes his way to the ball with his quarterback under center. Handoff to Bose, and just completely annihilated at the line of scrimmage by number 66, Ryan Cole.
Number 66, Ryan Cole, into the backfield quicker than we could get out.
And 2:25 to go. A timeout taken by the Eagles. Even after a big stop by Nathan Leach on defense on 4th down. Now it's BC High with the potential for a walk-off. So Evie set back inside his own 35, nearly at his own 30. Strong kick here. And a BR bounce, a BR roll. And BC High starting back at their own 22. Eagles looking to go 78 yards in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. In a non-playoff game, these two teams are playing as if they're playing for something. Looking to see who's the better team in the next 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Awkward snap there for Galvin. Evie catches it. And a nice grab there by Evie. Going to be enough for the first down? So the clock's going to stop on 1st down. I think they're doing an unofficial measurement. It'll be a 2nd and short, so time ticking down to 1:47. Beerenroot spot, 1st down. Sizable gain across the 40 to the 41. Clock's going to stop at 1:39 while they move the chains. As the play call coming in. Clock winding down now, the final 90 seconds of the 4th quarter. Galvin looking for options, running out of time. Throws that one. And was he in bounds? It looks like they're going to say he was in bounds. So the clock stops with 1:12 left to go. I think Ed Manti was looking for more time on the clock. So a minute 17 going to be on the clock. So an extra 5 seconds, and perhaps more importantly at this juncture, an extra timeout for Ed Manti. Getting the play call into his quarterback, Maxwell Galvin. Not exactly sure what was going on there. Almost looked like Victor just kind of forced his way onto the field. And Pete Smith telling him, not your time yet.
Second down, 2nd and 4, folks. 2nd and 4.
After all of that, 1:17 to go. Galvin out of the pocket, along the sideline, across the 40.
First down for the
And the
Eagles.
Eagles continue to collect yards and save time. 1:09 left to go. And the Eagles make their way to the BR 38.
$19 Galvin on the last carry. It's 1st and 10 from the 39.
Colin Benson, number 16, on the near side here on this first down passing play. Beer Brood spot, a flag comes in. So depending on the flag, perhaps another first down. Beer Brood spot's going to be down across the 30 to around the 29, 28 yard line. A holding is going to set BC High back 5 yards.
Bring the ball back, about 5 yards, and we'll play that down again.
So I could be wrong in saying this, but I believe all the penalties tonight have been on BC High, so a pretty well-disciplined game here for the BR Trojans on both sides. So it's going to set them back, actually, all the way on their own side of the field. Now a first and about a mile for BC High. Time ticking down. Galvin gets taken down by the defensive mainstay for the Trojans, Logan Johnson. Time ticking down, 40 seconds. The receivers had to make their way all the way from the 30-yard line of BR, so about a 25-yard run. Now down to 30 seconds to go. Galvin on the sidelines, and we actually get a timeout called before the play by the BR Trojans.
Timeout BR.
So they get the best of both worlds here. They called the timeout ahead of that play. They also kill off a lot of clock before that snap. I believe it was down to about 59 seconds when the clock started to go on that first down passing play. So about 21 seconds off the clock, or excuse me, 31 seconds off the clock. Trojans right now, they don't mind giving up the 5-10-yard plays, even in this case, a 15-20-yard play with a second and about Route 24 here. A long ways to go here for BC High. BR looking to keep the ball in front of them, even if it means giving up some yardage. Benson on the near side, matched up with Zachary Marvel. Galvin steps up, throws downfield, intercepted. Demetrios Passius says good night, Eagles.
Intercepted. Number 21, Demetrios Passius.
With time winding down, the Eagles had no choice but to throw a Hail Mary. And all it's going to take is one knee to end the game. They're going to put 18 seconds on the clock now. So with 2 timeouts still for BC High, this game's over. It just is semantics more than anything else.
With 18 seconds left on the clock, the Breakwater Rain Trojans will take the ball over on offense.
A game full of unique plays on both sides of the ball. Ends with a interception by Demetrios Passius, a senior. And the knee is down, and BR picks up a huge victory here, 24-20. It may not show on the record, but don't tell these guys that because they played a hard-fought game against BC High as it continues to prepare them for what comes up in 2 weeks, a championship conference game against the Brockton Boxers, and we will have that for you on Thanksgiving morning. Make sure to follow us on BTV Access Corporation's Facebook page for more information on the playback times and anything else going on around the community. So for Jeff Fowler up top on the press box on camera, I'm John Luck. Thanks for watching. BR with the 24-20 victory.